Well, hello and welcome to the new year of 2021. I'm Rachel Lauren, and today I want to have a really important conversation with you surrounding race, ethnicity, nationality, and altogether identity. I know for some this may seem basic, but I need you to know that this is extremely important for us to all understand what these terms mean, what these constructs mean, and what they don't. In order for us to engage in powerful, meaningful, necessary conversations, we have to have this foundation and understanding. In order for us to combat systemic oppression, combat systemic racism, we have to understand what race means, what ethnicity means, and how it affects our identities and our communities. So, let's talk about race. Race is a powerful social construct. That's right, I said social construct that traditionally was forged through oppression, through slavery, through conquest. It represents distinct physical characteristics that tend to distinguish one group of people from another group of people. Most people consider it to be inherited, something that's unchangeable. The idea of race originated from anthropologists and philosophers in the 18th century. They used geographical location and certain attributes like skin color or body type or figure, or even hair texture. They use these different things to put people into racial groupings. So when you think today, when you walk down the street and you see someone, you identify them as Black, you identify them as white, you identify them as Asian, and it's usually just from looking at them based on what we've been taught an individual who is Black might look like, or the different types of individuals who are Black might look like. So understand that race is something that you were born into. It's something that you really can't change because it's based on your inherited attributes, physical attributes. A lot of times race shows up before you're able to self-identify. Race shows up before you're able to speak about who you are and what you actually relate to. So let's talk about ethnicity. Ethnicity denotes a certain group, such as Latinx or Irish. And usually these groups share a common identity, and it can be based on ancestry, it can be based on language, or even culture. Sometimes you'll hear ethnicity as it relates to religion, certain beliefs, customs, holidays, traditions, even memories of migration or colonization. This is ethnicity. Ethnicity is a group of human beings who choose to identify with each other on the basis of some sort of commonality. Ethnic identity is usually marked by recognition of other individuals who happen to be a part of whatever that grouping is. There's a distinctiveness. There's something that they're able to relate to. It could be holidays that they celebrate. It could be foods and traditions that they tend to keep up and uphold. So remember that race is ascribed to individuals on the basis of physical traits. Ethnicity is usually chosen by an individual, taught to an individual, learned, or they're kind of born into based on their family, where their family is from, even sometimes where they live. It encompasses everything from language to culture to religion. Race is usually ascribed by a physical trait. Ethnicity is frequently chosen by the individual. So think about that. Use that to help you understand the difference between the two. Your race is who you are by genetics, while your ethnicity is essentially your culture. So let me give you an example using myself. I am a Black woman. I'm a proud Black woman. Obviously, you see that the future is female and she is Black. And when you see me, you'll think that's a Black woman. You might ask, I wonder what other things there are to her or what other identities she might want to share. But when you see me, if you saw me walking down the street, you would just say she's a Black woman. When I talk to you, I'll tell you that I know that I have Nigerian ancestors. I know that my great-grandfather was from Nigeria, and the culture of Nigerians is something that I appreciate and love, right, and celebrate. If you talk to me, I'll tell you that my mother was born and raised in Puerto Rico. She identifies as Afro-Latina. When people see her, they tend to assume that she's a Black woman. Why? Because that's how she presents. That's how she looks. That's what she looks like based on what society has said Black individuals may look like. But if you talk to her, she will tell you that she is proud of her ethnicity. She is proud to be Puerto Rican. She is proud to be Afro-Latina. More times than not, you are racialized before you have the opportunity to speak about your own identity. You're racialized before you have the opportunity to speak to all of the beautiful things that make up who you are. You're racialized when you walk into a building and you're asking for a loan. You're racialized when you're pulled over by a cop and they see you as a Black person. You are racialized when you go to the doctor's office and you're trying to get just basic health care. The different disparities that affect our communities tend to be based very largely on race. So I need you to understand that just because it's considered a social construct doesn't take away from the weight that it carries and the influence that it has on our lives and our communities. Race largely affects our society. It largely affects our disparities. It largely affects all of us. Some of us have privileges based on the race that we are able to identify as, and a lot of us have disadvantages based on the race that we are identified as. Systemic racism, again, can be found in education. It can be found in corporate America. It can be found within our criminal justice system. And we face these things, again, based on what someone sees us as when we walk into a room, when we walk down the street, when we get pulled over in our cars. It's also important to consider individuals who are biracial. So maybe there's someone that has a parent that's Black and a parent that's white. And if you talk to them, they'll tell you about this biracial identity. They'll talk to you about the fact that they might have certain ethnicities that are represented between their Black parent and their white parent. But when you see them, what do you see? That is what people will identify as their race. You don't always get the chance to talk about who you are. People see you as what they see you, and that makes up race, which again leads back to racism, leads back to systemic racism, and leads back to a lot of the things that we talk about here on this channel that we are working extremely, extremely hard to change. Something else that we want to talk about is nationality. Nationality refers to your country of citizenship. So nationality is literally where you're born. A lot of people tend to mix up nationality and ethnicity, and the two are technically different. People can share the same nationality and be from two completely different ethnic groups and can be two completely different races. People who share an ethnic identity do not have to have the exact same nationality. There is someone that can be Black and have a nationality that might be American. There is someone who can be Black and their nationality can be that of an entirely different country, their birthright, where they are born, where they have citizenship, their inheritance. All of these things are what makes up a nationality. For some, claiming nationality can be an extremely difficult thing. For example, if you're an American and you're a descendant of slavery, there might be a sense of difficulty for you to actually claim America as where you're from. Even though it doesn't change the fact that it is your nationality, the sense of pride that certain people might have about it can look different. It depends on the person. It depends on the situation in their family, and everyone has a right to feel how they feel about their nationality. Nationality is not necessarily a simple thing for some people. So again, race, social construct, physical characteristics, how somebody presents when they walk into a room based on what we've been taught by society, ethnicity, cultural background, where your family's from, the type of things that you celebrate, the holidays, the foods you eat, all relate to your ethnicity. And again, nationality, your place of citizenship, your birthright. These three terms are extremely important as we venture into some really meaningful conversations and extremely meaningful work. I hope that this understanding contributes to your consciousness and you're able to enter into conversations with much more power. Make sure that you are subscribed to our channel and stay tuned. We'll see you again soon. Peace out.